Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about all the sensational news that's going around. I am creating this video to urge and request each and every one of you, and more so the journalists who are just using this to their advantage and creating news to sell newspapers and get more hits online and all that. We are in a crisis. And people should take personal responsibility to validate what they're spreading. Because every time someone spreads something that's going to create some kind of panic, there'll be repercussions. People, without fact-checking, pass it on to others, forwarding emails, forwarding text messages, posting things online. All of this creates the chaos that the government and everyone is worried about. The fact that we had all these products disappear from the supermarkets and the shelves were empty and now there are queues and shortages, it's all because of this sensationalism and the fear that is created. In the UK, our government has been amazing. It has been extremely transparent. They have the chief scientific officer and the chief medical officer answering people's questions. Unfortunately, the morons are the journalists. I watched a couple of these episodes. The most recent one was where Boris Johnson was doing the speech from 10 Downing Street before he was diagnosed with the coronavirus. And he and his team gave real, clear, concise answers and made these statements that make complete sense. Yet, if you replay that video, I'll look it up on the internet and put the link below, you should listen to the journalists. They're asking the most stupid questions. Each time one of these journalists opens their mouth, I feel like slapping them really hard and telling them to just go and do something else because you're not doing your job properly. They all seem to be there as if they want to catch the politicians out. They are quizzing them and posing questions as if the leader of your country is lying to you. No politician in their right mind would ever lie to their people in a crisis like this. They're following the advice of scientists and doctors. So the actions and steps they're taking are based on calculated decisions. They have options and they're following them. So these journalists that just really boil my blood keep asking these stupid questions as if they're trying to catch them out telling a lie. And then these journalists ask the Prime Minister and other politicians to give them guarantees and assure them and promise them that what they're saying can be done. It's a virus, no one knows. We're working through it as we go along. So I just wanted to put this video out there and hopefully people will watch this and maybe pass it on to your friends and colleagues to say, guys, we all need to chill. The government has laid out clear guidance, and I want to stress on the word guidance, guidelines. They're not mandatory. So people are acting like it's a lockdown, you will be arrested, you'll be prosecuted if you go out and do this or that or the other. The government is being very lenient because we are not a communist country, we're not part of the ex-Soviet Union, so our people are sensible and we just give them guidelines and they follow it. I have so many friends from foreign countries and I really love them all, and I am one of those people who's open to all nationalities and people from all around the world. But the British culture is different. I have so many of my foreign friends saying, oh, why doesn't the government put the army out on the streets and lock everyone down? It's not going to work. We are not the kind of nation that needs to be beaten over the head with a stick. Some other countries around the world have other cultures and rules. It works for them. Besides, if you put all the army and police out on the street to tell people to stay at home, then when there is an emergency, half of them will either be sick or they are unable to provide the real necessary and important services, like maybe building an emergency hospital or transporting goods from one place to another, or if there's some kind of a little war or I don't know, some riot that breaks out. We need these armed forces and the police to be available for important things, not to tell people to stay at home. And in my opinion, if people are so stupid, then it's back to nature's survival of the fittest. If you cannot even understand basic simple things and you're not following the government's advice, then maybe you deserve to get the virus, and maybe that's what your fate is, because in this ecosystem that we live in, it's the survival of the fittest. And unfortunately, this virus isn't picking and choosing, saying because you're rich or because you're poor or because you're young or old. It's picking people who are just weak in some physiological or biological form. So if you're stupid, then maybe you deserve it. And it's harsh and horrible to say, but I'm so sick of people constantly moaning and moaning. They moan about the government that they put into power, and they want the government to fix all their problems and cuddle them and kiss them and pay their salaries while they sit at home and they act like petulant teenagers or really spoiled children, and they need to be now controlled and told what to do. We're all adults, we're grown-ups. You want to take responsibility, here's your opportunity. Take your responsibility, act like a grown-up. Don't expect the government to save you from everything. The government is made up of people like you, ordinary people. They're not supernatural, they're not robots. So you pick them, now you just have to follow their advice, because if they're not good, it's your fault. So don't blame anyone else. Yeah, so this is probably the harshest video I've made, but I'm just looking online at social media and everything else, and I'm getting messages from my friends about, oh, there's going to be army on the street and there's going to be a lockdown, and oh, everything is sold out. And I have educated, highly educated friends who are hoarding stuff, stockpiling, withdrawing tons of cash. Guys, we are not at war, and even if we were, if you didn't have all these facilities, I don't know, 50 or 70 years ago, what would you have done? So just by creating this panic, you are making other people's life difficult, especially those who are poor, who don't have enough money to go and stockpile things, who maybe have lost their jobs and they don't have the wages that they had for the week. They don't have the ability to go out and buy things and hoard them in case of an emergency. So you've made their life difficult by being greedy and stupid. So yeah, enough of my rant. Until the next one.